Good morning, children. Today we are going to see about history of computers. In ancient times, people used stones, pebbles, sticks, and many more things for counting the objects. Human beings were always looking for some device that can calculate and can provide them the final answer. Today, this device is known as a computer. A computer is a device that generates output based on input provided. But the computer which you see today took hundreds of years to take its present form. And even today it is developing very fast. Abacus is one of the oldest calculating device. Let us learn about it. What is abacus? Look at the picture. I marked heaven, earth, rods, beads, beam and frame. The abacus was the first calculating device created by man. It was developed in China in the 16th century. It has a wooden frame which is divided into two parts by a horizontal bar. Both the parts have vertical rods with beads on them, and these beads are used for counting and calculating. The upper deck is called the heaven and consists of five value beads. The lower deck is called the earth and consists of one value beads. It was widely used in ancient Asia. It is still used in countries like Japan and China. Inventors of computers. Before we go further, we should learn about the persons who made the important contributions in the development of computers. Some of them are as follows. John Napier was a Scottish mathematician who made common the use of a decimal point in mathematics. He invented a calculating machine made up of a set of rods carved from bones in the 16th century. These rods were used to do multiplication, and this machine was known as the Napier bones. Blaise Pascal was a French mathematician in 1642 CE. He invented a mechanical calculating device which can do addition and subtraction. This device was called as the Pascaline. This device was made up of wheels and gears. That means set of two three wheels connected to each other, and the numbers were displayed by the rotating the wheels. Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz was a German mathematician and a great philosopher. He invented a mechanical calculator known as the stepped reckoner, which can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage was a British mathematician and is known as father of computers. The first mechanical computer was designed by Charles Babbage in 1833. His computer was called the analytical engine. It had the ability to handle large amount of data and process information at a very high speed, but it was very costly at the time. Lady Ada Lovelace. The instruction given to the analytical engine were in the form of zeros and ones, which gave birth to the concept of binary arithmetic. This concept was introduced by Lady Ada Lovelace in 1877 C. She is also known as the founder of scientific computing and first lady computer programmer. Hermann Hollerith, an American mathematician, invented the tabulating machine. The machine followed the IPO cycle and the input was in the form of punched cards. Generation of the computers. There are different generations in your family. For example, your grandparents belong to one generation, your parents belong to another generation, and you and your siblings belong to the next generation. Similarly, there are generations in the development of computers too. Let us learn about the generation of the computers. Generation of the computers. First generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, and fifth generation. First generation computers, main component vacuum tube. First generation computers 1938 to 1955. The first modern computers was made in 1939 by Konrad Zuse, who was a German scientist. It was called Z2. It was made using a vacuum tube. It was very big in size and very expensive. Vacuum tubes were used as a major component and it is consumed lots of electricity, very slow in operation. Some examples: ENIAC, EDVAC, EDSAC and UNIVAC. Second generation computers, main component transistor. Second generation computers 1955 to 1964. These computers were made after the invention of transistor in 1956. The transistor were used instead of the vacuum tubes. The size of the computer reduced greatly, but still it was very big. These were reliable, smaller in size, faster and cheaper than first generation. Assembly language was used as the programming language. Some examples: IBM 7000, IBM 605 and more. Third, the size of the second generation of computers was about half of your classroom. Third generation computers, main components integrated circuits. Third generation computers 1964 to 1975. These computers used integrated circuits in place of transistors. These computers were much smaller than the second generation computers. The second and third generation computers were not user friendly and were used in big companies. They were more reliable, consumed less energy. Programming was done in high level language. Some examples: IBM 1130 and UNIVAC 1107. Fourth generation computers, main component microprocessor. Fourth generation computers 1975 to 1989. These computers began with the invention of microprocessor in 1979. The microprocessor was the result of development of large scale integrated circuit and a very large scale integrated circuit. Many LSIs and VLSIs were put together in a single chip called a microprocessor. Some examples: IBM 4341 and Apple 11. Fifth generation computers. Main components: artificial intelligence, fifth generation computers, 1989 to present. This generation of computers is based on artificial intelligence. They used super large scale integrated circuit chips. The main aim of this generation is to produce computers which will be able to recognize voice, image, and graph. Some examples: robots, quantum computers, and nanocomputers. At present, the computers we are using are of the fifth generation of computers. Okay, children, thank you. Have a nice day.